We are back with Senator Roxanne Persaud. Senator, so you are in office as state senator for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
So give us a glimpse into your thoughts. What is foremost on your mind? What were some of your legislative priorities?
Well, first thing my first thought was, oh my God, what did I do? I now represent nearly 400,000 people. You know, the Senate district is three times the size of the Assembly district. And I'm like, okay, so I am going to be running from Brownsville to Sheepshead Bay, right? So like, oh, that's all right, I can do it. It's by no means, you know, the easiest thing or a bed of roses. So don't think that, you know, it's the picture that I paint is just everything is perfect. And then I started doing, you know, looking at what the needs are. The needs in parts of Brownsville where I represent are not the same needs as in Bergen Beach. They're not the same needs as in Mill Basin. They're not, you know, some of the needs in East New York were not the same needs as Canarsie and Mill Island, you know, and so you had to balance all of this. And then, so my first major piece of legislation, I decided, it was an issue with gun violence. It was an issue in crime. You know, it's predominantly in Brownsville, East New York. And so I joined with a colleague from the Assembly member Joanne Simon, and we decided we are going to put legislation together to try to curb gun violence. And the legislation was to limit the amount of ammunition someone can purchase, and then also another piece to ensure that when you're purchasing ammunition, that you have the license, the ammunition you're purchasing corresponds to the licensed firearm that you have, which seems like common sense, right? The NRA took offense to that. And when the NRA goes after you, the NRA goes after you. And so it became this international issue. And the NRA decided that they were going to take us on hard. And they unleashed everyone on us. And then they published this picture. If you look at it, you'll see it. They published the picture, so they put Assemblymember Simon and I, they put our picture there, and they put the bullets surrounding us, telling you. So they essentially were telling their people to take us out. And so you had every crazy person who was a fan of the NRA or a member of the NRA coming after us. And I remember the first thing the police department said to me is like, do you have state plates on your car? Because they were calling you off, they would send an email, they were just coming hard. In Albany, like, you can't just let somebody walk in the office. And I said, no. And I always tell people that's the one reason why I always said, if I become elected, I will never take a state license plate, the state license plate on my car, or whatever the elected office is. I would not. Because you become a target. People know who you are. They know that car is an elected official. They want to target you, they will. So I said, no, I don't. So I would not park my car in front of the office, but I would park it further down. So just like, you know, so anybody who knew my car didn't see my car in front of the office. And so we started getting, you know, all Canadian broadcasters were calling, like, what is this about? You know, and so it became this crazy issue, and they weren't letting up on us. And they thought that, you know, we're taking away their rights. We weren't taking away. We were trying to address an issue that's affecting the people whom we represent. If that's a problem, then I'm sorry. And so I said to them, I said, I am not going to back down because you're taking offense to me putting common sense legislation forward. And so it went on for a while. It's still there, you know. Every now and again, there are people who start sending their nasty little notes, you know, talking about, you know, what, you know, why we're trying to take away their Second Amendment and all of that, and, you know, without even trying to understand what the legislation is. And I said to the NRA, I said, listen, if you want to talk with us, let's have a conversation, and you may not like the legislation. Well, talk with us. And you tell us, how can we tweak it to make it acceptable? How can we tweak it? And then I have, you know, my Republican colleagues in Albany they're not interested in that because they're part of the NRA groups. So put it out there, and they would not put that legislation forward. So those are the kinds of things that you have to that are frustrating to you.
What keeps you up at night these days about your work?
Currently,
Yes.
number 45, who just happens to be the President of the United States.
Number 4.
Right?
No.
Who just happens to be the President of the United States. Because while we were in Albany, and it's a serious thing, at first you thought it was a joke. I would tell people it's like a reality show,
Yeah.
but then you have to start taking it seriously. And so I had, working with my colleagues in Albany, we had to put forward legislation. So I sponsored some pieces of legislation, particularly for health to cover, if he decides, if they finally decide to decide to disband Obamacare, that many of them don't realize that the ACA and Obamacare is the same thing. So we had to put things in place that says if they cut our funding, we have to put $350 million aside to cover that gap and all those things. So those are the things that you worry about. When you hear that they want to take away maternity care from health insurance, ambulance care shouldn't be covered. Someone gets ill, you have to pay on your own for an ambulance. Those are the crazy things, and those are the things that you worry me. And so when you talk to people, you say, that's the reason why you must become involved. And it's not just becoming involved and giving lip service. It's to become active participants in where you live.
What surprised you the most about the office?
I think the personality issues, really. Because, your own people are the ones who are not really helping you to move forward. That's the thing that you see most. They're ones who are going to criticize what you're doing. Oh, yeah, she's doing that, but, she's always, someone said to me, you're always with the white people.
Really?
Right? Yeah. When they say, hey, join me. Become a participant. If you want to criticize something, then you show me what you're doing. That proves that what I'm doing is not the right thing. And so you have to work. And those are the things you hear all the time. Or people will say, oh, I don't see you. And so one day somebody says, oh, I have never seen you. And I said, oh, so how long have you been living in this community? Oh, I've been living here 12 years. I said, so I'm going to ask you this question. How many civic meetings have you attended in 12 years? Well, I'm so busy. I said, okay, that's fine. I said, do you read your local newspaper? Because then you'll see everything that I do, even before I became elected. Well, I don't buy that paper. I said, so tell me, where would you be that I should have been, but I was not there? So it didn't give you the opportunity to see me. And then they get upset because they think, you're being sarcastic or whatever. I said, no. If you're saying that you don't see me, tell me. Because people will tell you. Some days, I start early in the morning in Brownsville, crisscross the Sheepshead Bay, come back to Canarsie, go back downtown, go into the city. That's how my day is. So you tell me all of that when I'm doing that. Why is it that you can't see me? Oh, and another thing, my office is in the area. My office is there. You want to meet with me? Call and schedule an appointment. They'll schedule an appointment with you. That's all you have to do. So,
for those days when you don't feel like getting up and doing what you need to do, who or what gets you out of that mindset?
I think my work ethic. First of all, they'll tell you I'm a workaholic, and I'm one of those. I said to the staff the other day, I said, I'm not sure how many of you really had worked with someone who was always involved. Always say, I tell the staff, if they're creating a sign, I can create a sign also. If they're doing their types, I know I can do it. So when I look at it, I'll be like, okay, that there's too much white space and that there's this, and that I can tell you. And I'm like, oh yeah. I said, just your naming conventions must be this way, and I'm like, oh, okay, So that's it's the work ethic that I have. I'm always like, we need to work.
What are most people surprised to learn about you when they get to know you?
I'm just a regular person. Because when people see now they see senator first, right?
Yeah.
They're not saying like, oh, Roxanne Persaud. and Roxanne Persaud. I'll tell you the story why I always use a J. They say, they see Senator first. And I'll go in and they'll say, no, Senator, you have to sit here. Are you going to sit there? I'm like, oh, no. I know these seniors. I'm going to go sit with them. And they'll be like, oh, no, you can't do that. It's like, why not? Oh, no, Senator, you got to sit up front. It's like, I'm good.
What was your mother's reaction when you first got elected?
Oh, she was ecstatic. All my parents, my siblings, they were. I think my mother was like on the moon. It's like.
Were you surprised that you won?
No. That's how much. It's not being cocky or arrogant. Is that I had confidence in myself and I had confidence in the team that I worked with. I had confidence in the my political family that they were not going to steer me in the wrong direction.
I want to ask you something. There are a group of young women, young girls watching this show, listening to you, whether it's now or after. And they want to do something transformative. They want to do something like it's out of their comfort zone. Maybe politics, whatever. And they're worried about what people are going to say or think about them. They're worried about how they're going to look. You have the floor. What do you say to these young girls?
Be confident in yourself. If you want to do something, you do it. People will criticize you. Your best friend should criticize you. If your best friend is not criticizing you,
your best friend should criticize
that's
you.
That's not your friend. I'm just telling you that. If
I got good friends.
Exactly. And that's what I tell people. I have
really good friends.
Your friends should criticize you. Your siblings should tell you you're a pain in the neck. You shouldn't do that. My sisters will always say, they're like, oh, you move your hand too much. You do this, you do that. Your friends should be able to say, what do you think? You think you're better than everybody else? You better get off that high horse. If your friends allow you to get on a high horse, and so you think that you're above everyone else, that's not a friend. A friend will tell you, you need to jump down.
Yeah, that's a good friend.
That's a friend, and that's what you want. So the young girls, when they want to do something, their friends will tell them, "Oh, why you want to do that? That's boring life. That's this. That's that." No, if you want to do that, that's what you should do. And then you have to look at how do you become a part of that. So first you look at you look at your school. While it's like girls in high school. It shouldn't. And first of all, it shouldn't start when you're in high school. You should start thinking about community when you're just a kindergartner. You want to see, oh my gosh, over there needs something being done to it. Should I volunteer and clear that corner? Should I tell the teacher I'm going to clear the books from that corner? That's how it starts. And so these young girls, when you go into junior high, you see what clubs are there. Right? It doesn't have to be the political club. It doesn't have to be the most popular club. Right? It's a club that you can become part of, and then you look to become the leader in the club. How do you lend your voice to that club? You come in and you say, okay, and they've been doing the same thing for creation, and you're coming there with fresh eyes, and you say, and you look at the person who's the current leader, and you say, I have this idea. They may not listen to you, but you keep doing it, and then you continue, and then you see that, and if they don't want to take your idea, decide, you know what, I'm going to get a couple of my friends together and we're going to do this project. Right? And you go on your block, and you say, there's an issue in your block, and you say to the elders, oh, you know what, how do we fix this problem? I want to do this. Let's do a cleanup on my block. That's how you start.
I'm listening to you, and the creative side of me is thinking, what if there was a booklet produced by you, maybe some illustration, maybe not, about getting involved? Because I can see that taking off. A lot of times we want to do things, but then there's that block of not knowing what you don't know. And then here comes somebody like Senator Persaud that says, well, you know what, maybe you should do this, and maybe you should do that, and this is how you get involved. Is that possible? It's
a coincidence that you're asking that. I had a meeting this morning at 8:30, and that was the topic. And the person said, she's like, I've known you all these years and we're always doing these things. She said, there's TED Talks. Let's brainstorm and start doing things like that and get the kids to come in, and we'll use auditoriums and have these talks with them. 8:30 this morning, that was the conversation I was having at the Arch Diner.
You and I will have more conversation. I know that. I know we. Boy.
That was this morning, yes.
The 19 senatorial district.
Uh-huh.
Is there one or two particular segments, maybe one in particular, you'd like people to know about the 19th senatorial district?
It's a complex district.
Mm.
No two parts of it are the same. I started when I said Brownsville. Brownsville, there's pockets of large pockets of poverty and crime, and we're trying to change that. My colleagues and I, and the assembly members and I, we have a very good working relationship. And the things that we're bringing to Brownsville is to change the mindset of people and to change their lot, telling them that's okay. The media may portray Brownsville as a bad place, but you're not bad people, and the place is not bad. And so we're doing all these things. And so, you hear them, they'll say, violence out, Brownsville in, and trying to do all of these kinds of things. And so we're working, telling the young people, it's okay. You may live in a housing development, but that's okay. You can be better than that. It's how you carry yourself. And then I have East New York. East New York was like changing. It's changing now. Many years ago, people would say, oh, East New York, I don't want to go East New York, I don't want to go Brownsville. You see, with the housing boom in East New York, there's a gateway area that you walk around. The houses look like you're in Amsterdam. If you've ever gone to Amsterdam, that's when they were first putting it up, and I was saying, geez, this looks like Amsterdam, the houses. And then it so happens that I'm sitting there in a meeting, and I said to the guy, I said, these houses, I don't get it. And he goes, it's interesting that you say that. He was in the team. He goes, because I'm from Amsterdam. And that's the concept that he has. Like, oh, okay, now I know. I said, but yes, it doesn't fit in me. It changed. So you go there and you see how different the area is. And so now you have, the people are afraid. They're putting up condos and all of that in East. So you look at, so now there's the question of, is it going to be unaffordable to the people who've lived there for 40 years, because you're bringing in this new kind of development, and that you're blending. There's a place in East New York, people don't know. It's called Arts East New York. When you're going there, it's just, you see the artistic display and all, and you're like, this is Brooklyn? It's not downtown Brooklyn. This is the heart of East New York on Livonia Avenue. Livonia Avenue. And you go around, Livonia Commons is where they come. You have to see what they've done along Livonia Avenue. From the train track to Pennsylvania, all the changes that are being made. You have to see what's there. And you go, wow. You have to take a walk there. You could see Arts East New York. You go into the gateway area. There's a restaurant there called Fusion East. And it's authentic Caribbean food and soul food. And Fusion East, and you go there and you think that you're in a restaurant that's downtown Manhattan or downtown Brooklyn, but this is East New York. That's the East New York we want people to know, not just what you see on the television that says, oh, there's gun violence and all that. Yeah, there are pockets of violence, but the vast majority of people are not the violent people, and so we have to work on how do we get rid of the violence.
Messaging is so important.
It is important. And that's why it takes us all collectively working to change where we are. And so when you're living, people think, they say, oh my God, I've lived there for 40 years. It's amazing how I go to all of my housing developments. I have meetings with the tenant association boards and all of that, with the NYCHA board, the NYCHA management and all that, just to make sure they're addressing the needs of the people who are living in the public housing. And then I have lots of co-ops. I have Michelama houses. I have lots of housing. But then then you go from Canarsie and East New York, people think it's only projects. It's not. Vast majority homeowners. Canarsie's homeowners. Bergen Beach, Mill Basin, Mill Island. It's all homeowners. And then you have condos, lots of condos. Then I go into Sheepshead Bay, homeowners, but then I have 2 housing developments also. So it's a mixed district, and the ethnic groups, as fast as they come. I have Bengali on one end, and I have African Americans on the other end. I have Russians in Starrett City, and I have Chinese in other. So it's all different ethnic groups. So you have to be willing to work with all of them.
How do you keep on top of all these various areas that demand your presence?
I think because
Scheduling must be crazy.
Scheduling is crazy, and I have the staff. Actually, today I was talking with a staff member, and she was saying she was at a meeting. I sent her to a meeting, and she was talking about the things that they were talking about. She says, "Oh, I suggested we can do this." I said, "That's me."
Oh.
And she says, "I said, I don't think there is any elected official who goes to as many meetings as I do, or send their staff to as many meetings as I do. Every meeting." Major meetings, and even the small ones, we tell them, let's know if you're having a meeting. Sometimes in one evening, I'll have staff going to different meetings. They'll go to one meeting, and so they'll speak, and they'll get all the information, leave that meeting and go to another meeting, and then you leave. You have to, because
so
you
your
have
constituents.
to balance.
Okay, sorry, you were going to answer the question I was about to ask, and I'm sorry, Senator. The constituents that are listening to this, why is this so important? Because
people have to understand that you're in touch with them. That you're a part of them. It's, someone came to Albany one day and they said, "Oh, every time we come to your office, you're never in the office." And I said, or we always see you running down the hallway. I said, if I am sitting in the office, it means I am not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. When I'm in Albany, I'm supposed to be doing legislation, so I'm in chamber. I'm meeting with constituents or agencies and all that. I'm doing that. If I just go into the office, or when I'm in the district, and if I just sit in the office all day, what good is that doing anyone? I'm coming to you. I go to the senior centers. The session is over from June. Every senior center, and I have a lot of them, I make sure I go and visit them. Go just sit and chat with the seniors. Just find out. What is it that's bothering you? Is there something that I can address for you? And then you go there and the seniors will say, well, I have a housing issue. This one will tell you, or I know somebody with an issue. And that's how you get information. I go to, people say, you walk to, and you go into the housing development. Yeah, I represent them. If I'm not going to stand up and let them think that I'm afraid of being with them. So I walk over there and say, oh, hey, how are you doing? I'm not going to put myself in any danger deliberately, but I'm going to walk by. I see you there. Hey, how are you doing? What's going on, guys?
What is one message you would like your career to say about you as an immigrant woman?
We can do it. Don't let anyone tell you.
Can you say that louder, please?
We can do it. Don't let anyone tell you. I'll tell you this. I was 17 years old, and I was on a bus in Queens, because we were living in Queens at the time. I was on the bus, and these guys were talking, and there were lots of immigrants on the bus, and I don't know, they were having their attitudes. And the one says, oh yeah, all these immigrants, they just come and they just take our jobs. And at 17 years old, I turned to them and I said, I don't think the immigrants come and take your job. I said, they understand that they have to work hard when they come here. I said, we come as immigrants, and you start from the bottom up. I said, they're willing to sweep the streets. Clean the floors to make it up. I said, they're not coming and saying, I must go directly to the top. Mm-hmm. And these two older, they were two older men. They looked at me like, oh, what are you talking about? I said, no. I said, immigrants, we're not coming here to take away from you. We're coming here because we came here because we were told we're coming here for a better life. So for the majority of us, when we came here, we worked our tails off to get to where we are.
What is one defining moment you reflect on, or just one defining moment in the Senate?
It was in 2015, March of 2015. I walked into, this is before the Senate actually, but it was for the legislature. I walked into the Capitol building. It was Women's History Month. And as I'm walking into the rotunda, there's a display there. I went to walk by and I said, oh my God, that's me. And it says, Roxanne Persaud, first Guyanese-born person coming to the New York State Legislature, the first woman representing the 59th Assembly District, first person of color representing the 59th Assembly District. And I was like, oh my God. And I stood there, took out my phone, and I took a picture of the poster. And at the same time, the assembly photographer was going to pass by. He goes, do you want a picture of that? I was like, yes, that is me. And so I stood in front of that poster, and he took the picture, and I blew up that poster, put it there, and I have it in the office. It says, yeah, we come as immigrants, but don't take us for granted.
You have accomplished so much. Yet you were able to remain humble.
I have a family who keeps me grounded.
Yes.
They'll tell me.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
you know, you're able to do that and get excited when you see things like this. What does that say to you about you?
I don't take anything for granted.
Mm.
So when you see it, if I had seen that poster and said, oh, that's just the Women's History poster, oh, okay.
Right.
No, listen, I was proud of that. I was proud of people acknowledging she's the first woman to represent that district. She's the first person of color to represent that district. In its history, no one of color had ever represented that district.
What is it about Brooklyn that appeals to you?
It's this cosmopolitan area. You know, when we moved to Canarsie, I was like, yeah, it's fine, it's quiet. You know, and you don't want to see people. I want to work with them, but when I go home, I don't want to see people. That's fine. But it's you can walk from one block to the next and meet people from all walks of life, right? And everyone has a story.
Who is Senator Persaud on a regular day relaxing with family and friends versus Senator Persaud, the public servant showing up for work?
Relaxing with family and friends? I don't know. That doesn't happen often. And they'll tell you I'm high strung. And I'm like, you know, I'm high strung. And they're like, you know, sometimes they will say you're kind of anal and things. But it's always, my sisters used to say that, you know, I'm always pulling them into doing things because everything, you know, everything that's to be done, I'm always pulling my sisters and like, oh, come on, could you come help me do this? Come on, come over here. So that's who I am, because we're a close-knit family. And, you know, we make sure we take care of our own. Don't talk about us or anything like that. We take care of our own, and we're really connected. On the outside, when you know, I go to the office, whether it's in Albany or whether it's here in Brooklyn, it's always the same. I am there because I'm representing the people, and I want everyone to understand that. And I tell my staff all the time, when you speak to someone, they assume that's the senator speaking. So however you're interacting with them, they'll think it's me. I said, and if you interact in the opposite way of how I am, it's not going to be nice. And people will know it. And I don't want them to come back and say, guess what? I didn't like that interaction with your staff. I said, you're always, as long as you're working in this office, reflecting how I would interact with someone.
I can testify to that. Every interaction that I've had in the office, Michelle, very professional, very helpful, very, very helpful. If you were to eavesdrop your parents, telling a stranger about you, what do you think either of them would say about you? Let's start with Mom.
She'd be like, oh, that's her. That she'd always go like that because that's Alberta Pickman's child. She's like matron. I'm always hearing her telling people that. And her friends will say that, oh, you know, Roxanne is just like matron. It's my aunt, you know. My dad came to Albany the first year. Every February in Albany, it's the celebration of caucus. The Black Caucus has this celebration. And the first year, my father came, and you know they're doing the tours, and he went to the Speaker of the Assembly's office, and he said to the receptionist there, he says, oh, he's looking around. They're telling me this after, oh. Don't get used to this, you know. My daughter is going to come and take over here. I had only been in the assembly 4 months. So that's the kind of thing how my parents are. Yes. He's like, my daughter's going to, just look up to my daughter. She's going to come and take over here.
When are you most happy?
I think in my quiet time. And then when I'm doing something for people, especially when I'm doing something for young kids, you know, trying to help them get along, get ahead. That's it.
What are you most proud of?
I'm most proud of the things that I've accomplished, and that I'm still grounded. I'm still not, it hasn't gotten to my head. It's not that I don't walk around and says, look at me, I'm Senator Roxanne J. Persaud, look at me, look, this is who I am. No, I walk around, I'll go and stand in line. I never throw my title in front of people because I want them to be comfortable with who I am.
What are you most thankful for?
Thankful for life.
Life.
Thankful for life, and thankful for the support of the family that I have, and then the friends and colleagues who are constantly saying, "Okay, Roxanne, we know. Let's do this. I know you can do this. Hey, you want to help us with this?" And those are the people that I'm thankful to be surrounded by.
If you could go back in time, what would you tell that 15-year-old girl?
You're no longer a snob.
Snob? That, really?
Oh, growing up, even now, people will tell you that they think I'm snobbish. It's not. I am selective. I've always been selective in the company I keep. And you can have 100 people here. I'm going to have conversations with everyone, but then I'll step back and go into my quiet corner. And I don't have to be the center of everything. And so people will be like, yeah, she's snooty. But it's not. I'm really selective.
What makes you laugh out loud?
Some of the nonsense people say and do. You'll be like, seriously? Did you really just say that? Or did you really just do that? The things people do. I go, oh gosh. Because, and then the stupid things people will say. Because they will they think, like someone said, when I was running for the Senate, someone actually said to a reporter, she's Guyanese, and the senator who was in that office his parents were Guyanese, so it's that Guyanese connection. So you got to be careful with them. And I said, really? I said, oh, okay, I didn't know that. I said, careful how? And so this reporter, and then they said, they're probably family too. So the reporter calls me to find out if I was family with the senator, and because of the Guyanese connection, and I'm like, really? And then I just laughed. I said, people are stupid. People are really stupid in some of the things they say and do. So, Senator, yes,
thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. This was funny. It's one thing I have to tell you. I'm laughing and talking, but don't ever think that it's an easy job. But if you can't laugh at yourself and laugh, you have to get it out, because you can't bottle things up. Then you're just going to implode. And, I don't want to do that. I want to be able to. I tell people I want to be able to live as long as my grandparents did, and so I can't bottle it up. I got to let it out. So sorry.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
This is Selwyn Collins saying, thank you for listening. Fear not what fear whispers to you. Fear your obedience to it. Good night.
Kumanja eli neduma kundo na makoro benjugu ya sa.
Okay, put it back. All right, we are back with Senator Persaud, and there is this story about why you use the J in your name.
Yes.
Can you tell us?
So I would always say Roxanne Persaud, Roxanne Persaud. And one year we were volunteering in Guyana, and I'm there, and I said, Roxanne Persaud. I came back, and they're doing this Google search, because you should always Google your name just to see what's going to pop up. So I'm Googling, my name, Roxanne Persaud, Guyana. And lo and behold, there were about 40 articles that popped up, right? And so I'm looking at the articles. It says, Roxanne Persaud, volunteering in Guyana, da-da-da-da. It so happened that this person living in London was also named Roxanne Persaud. And she was in Guyana volunteering with the blind. We were doing cancer volunteering, and she was doing volunteering in blind services. And so all of the articles blended us as one. From that day on, I became known in every single thing as Roxanne J or Roxanne Jacqueline Persaud, because I wanted people to see exactly who they're looking for. When they're talking about Roxanne Persaud in Brooklyn, New York, in the state legislature, they were finding the right one. So if you Google, you'll see Roxanne Persaud in London, that does a lot of work with the blind. But this here, I am the real Roxanne J. Persaud that you're looking for. That's the story.
Thank you.
Google yourself.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Good night.